taking away my breath when you tell me that you think it's hopeless. Turning away again, telling you that we can work this out, but you'd rather drop it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to be running a nice and easy 5-kilometer run on this beautiful sunny day. I was actually supposed to do this run yesterday, but the weather forecast said it was going to be a bit gloomy, and it was, but it didn't actually rain. So I could have done it yesterday, but I will take this weather over that. This is actually going to be my last run before my first half marathon, which is in just a couple days. And honestly, am I ready? I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. I don't want to back out now because it's so close, but I wish I had a bit more time to prepare. After talking with my friends who are pretty into running, they said you shouldn't be running too much before the actual marathon. So that's why I'm doing a pretty short run today. This past month has been pretty hard for me to keep up with my running training. So as a result, I don't feel as prepared as I wish I could say I was. I have a couple goals that I want to reach that I hope I can do. My first goal is that I hope I can do the half marathon in under 2.5 hours, which to an actual runner, that doesn't seem that hard. It's actually a pretty slow time, maybe compared to running standards, but to me, that is a pretty big feat. I also want to try and be able to do it without stopping. Last year when I did my first 10K, I did have to stop to use the washroom, so I anticipate I'll probably stop for the washroom break, but as much as possible, I'm going to try and not stop at all aside from that. But yeah, let's get this last run done, and hopefully I feel great after.
Say that we have nothing left to pray for something better, to make me into another story of what could have been in my sleep.
Okay, so I'm back from picking up my bib, and I actually didn't know that there was an expo that's happening alongside picking up your bib, and you're supposed to go through it to see all the different vendors and all the different freebies that they have for you. So let's take a look at what I got, because there was a lot of free things there that I didn't expect to take home. First off, I have my bib. I'm number 19149. Not gonna lie, I was a bit confused when the lady gave it to me because she told me I had to cross a line to activate it.
So for this one, when you mean to cross, like at the very... Over there? Okay, thank you.
But I didn't see a line in the entire expo, so I'm hoping that the chip for it to be able to time my race still works, because I don't want to put in all that work for nothing. This bottom part is for a gear check, and this is another thing that I did not know, but it's essentially if you needed to bring a change of clothes for after the race, you can give it to them and then they'll have it ready for you once you finish the race. For me, luckily my girlfriend's going to be at the end, so she's going to be able to bring clothes for me. We also stopped by the Kits booth, which is like a sunglasses store here in Vancouver, and they had a spinner that you could try and win something, and we didn't win sunglasses, but we won cleaning spray and the cloth. We also got some BMO socks. I don't know when I'd ever wear this, but we got 2 pairs. We also got some coupons for some products like Kits itself, as well as Stance if I want 20% off. Stance socks are pretty comfortable. I have a couple pairs because they were gifted to me, so I think I might actually use this because it is 20% off. They had a lot of the running related brands like Brooks, shocks for your earbuds. But in addition to all the clothing related stuff, there were a bunch of other booths like people were getting massages, people were getting chiropractic assessments, and I also got some stickers. So this one is the 21.1 kilometers, which is basically how far the half marathon will be. While I was there, I actually managed to figure out how I'm gonna actually get to the marathon. My original plan was to take transit, but after talking with the people there, I learned that the transit lines aren't open early enough for me to be able to make it on time. I should be there around 7 a.m. to make it for my actual start time, which is roughly around 7:30, but the trains actually open at 7. So realistically, I'm not gonna be able to make it on time if I relied on transit. But luckily, my sister is able to drive me, so thank you for that. I kind of just voluntold her to do it, but I still appreciate it. Now that that's all out of the way, I can focus on the last minute preps that I need to do for the actual race. Okay, a quick race day fit check. I was gonna do this tomorrow morning, but I feel like I'm gonna be a bit preoccupied with getting ready for the actual race to actually film something, so I thought I'd do it now while I have a bit more time. For my top, I'm gonna be wearing a dry fit Nike tank top, and on my head, I'm gonna wear a Lululemon headband. I was gonna wear this Lululemon hat, but sometimes when I run, it does feel a bit tight, and I don't think that's going to be very comfortable, especially for 21 kilometers of running. I thought it'd be better to have something a bit more open. Plus, it's going to be really hot, so that'll actually be better for me. I also have a Garmin Forerunner 255, I believe. I recently switched over from the Apple Watch like a month ago. This was on sale, so I decided to buy it. I was going to get an earlier model, but this was actually cheaper than getting one of the earlier models. I do like it. It's been a good change because sometimes when I had my Apple Watch, it would accidentally stop the run. So let's say if I did like a 10-kilometer run, I would only see that when I was finished that only 5 of it was recorded because I accidentally stopped the run. So because this is tactile buttons, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to finish the run without any mishaps like that. I also am going to be wearing Shox wireless headphones. So shout out to my friend Maple because she's letting me borrow these. Usually I would wear AirPods when I run, but from my experience, sometimes it does feel like it's gonna slip out, especially when I've ran for a really long time. And last year I had some issues when I was running a 10K because at the beginning it wasn't detecting the Bluetooth properly. Or hopefully these ones have a better connection, but overall they do feel a lot more comfortable when I run. For my shorts, I'm wearing these blue Lululemon Pace Breaker shorts. I think that they're 5-inch ones. If they aren't the 5-inch ones, then they're probably 7-inch. These are one of my favorite shorts to wear. I have these in like 4 different colors, but for the race day tomorrow, I do want to wear my favorite color, which is blue. And then for my shoes, I'm wearing the Brooks Adrenaline 25. I have the GTS version because I need a bit of support for my feet since they are pretty flat. And the final thing that I have, which makes me feel like a complete runner, are these chrome finish sunglasses from Oakley. I have no idea which model these are because these are my dad's and I just took them from him. But these make me feel like 10 times faster when I run them. I don't know what it is about it, but these are my favorite things to wear, especially when it's super sunny outside and I need to go for a long run. Oh yeah, and I also have a running belt that I need to find. That's gonna mostly hold all of my gels and my phone when I'm not holding it in my hand. It's also from Lululemon. I just need to figure out where it is. Okay, so I actually managed to find the belt. This is what it looks like. And like I said, it's gonna be holding my fuel. So the gels that I'm using are these goo gels. I have 3 here. This one is cherry lime, lemonade, and blueberry pomegranate. Because I sweat a lot, I might be bringing this bimpo, or small towel. This is just to help me like blot my nose because I know for sure my face is going to be sweating a lot. And lastly, for me, it's pretty important to have chafing cream because my thighs tend to rub against each other, especially when I run. So that's pretty much it. I think I have everything ready for tomorrow laid out so that all I have to do is wake up, put everything on, and head out the door. It still hasn't really hit me that it's happening tomorrow. I've been preparing for this since maybe November, so almost 6 months now, and the time flew by so fast. Today, I've been taking it easy and just relaxing at home, trying not to do too much strenuous work. I've been carb loading pretty much all day today. I've been having a lot of bread, rice, and I'm gonna be having pasta for dinner after this. But yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow. I am nervous, but for the most part, I am pretty excited. For tomorrow, I have to be up at around 4:30 so that I have enough time to get ready, eat, and let myself digest before actually starting the run. So I should probably wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys at the starting line. Yeah! 2 kilometers done! This is the first time I had this one. It's lemonade, it's pretty good. I think I passed 8K, I didn't see the sign. Yeah! 14, let's go. Whoa, 18, come on. We did it, guys. It's a couple days after my first half marathon and my legs and feet are honestly still recovering. But I've been really eager to talk about how my experience was during this half marathon and how everything played out. Taking it back to even the night before the marathon, my body was filled with so much nerves. I was worried I wasn't gonna wake up on time, and I was just worried about the race in general. I did manage to get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, which is better than nothing, but honestly, I wish I had a full 8 hours of sleep like I normally do. The morning went pretty well. I was able to get ready easily. I had my breakfast. I went to the washroom, and that was something I really, really wanted to do, which luckily I did. But as soon as I got to the starting line, I actually had to go again. So thankfully, I had enough time to use the washrooms again and not have to do it during the run. Because out of the two, I would much rather get it over with beforehand and not worry about it while I'm running. I was in the last corral for the half marathon runners, so I had a bit more time to warm up and just get my body ready and get mentally prepared for the run. Actually, during my warm-up, I accidentally stepped in a bit of grass that was wet, and I was so worried because I didn't want to start the run with wet shoes. Luckily, it only got on the outside of my shoe, and you could see a little bit of the water kind of peeking into the shoe already, but the main thing was my socks were not wet. At around 7:25, that's when we were walking up to the starting line, and you could hear the announcer starting to hype everybody up because we were about to go in less than 5 minutes. At this time, this is when my girlfriend, my friends, my family, they were all sending me messages showing support and wishing me good luck on the run. And once I heard the announcer starting to count down from 10, that's when it really started to hit me. Like, damn, I'm going to actually do a half marathon, and it's going to be over in less than 3 hours. Now, talking about the actual run. The first 10 to 12 kilometers actually went by pretty well for me.
So far it's pretty downhill, so it's been pretty easy. Hopefully I still have energy when it starts going back uphill.
At around the 6 kilometer mark, my feet actually did start to hurt because my socks were rubbing against the arch of my foot as well as my toes. So it was pretty uncomfortable. I was annoyed that it happened really early on into the run, but I couldn't really do much, so I had to just push through the pain and just keep going. Despite that, I was feeling really good. I was on target with my pace. When I ate the gels that I had packed, it sat in my stomach pretty well and I didn't have to worry about that. And overall, I was in a really good mood.
Kilometer 9, 10 kilometers, double digits, let's go.
This part of the course was largely downhill, so I tried my best to conserve my energy for the rest of the race. But if you've ever been in a race setting, like a marathon, half marathon, 10K, whatever, you know that there's so much adrenaline being pumped into you in the beginning with all the people cheering, with all the sounds and all the supporters that are surrounding you. You feel so fresh out of the gate and it's hard not to just feel good. I was able to meet one of my friends at the 10K mark, which is a good boost of energy that I needed at that halfway point in the run. And it was nice to see a familiar face after being alone for so long. But going through the first half of the run, I wish, even though I felt really good, that I did take it a bit slower because I was not prepared for the second half of the run. That second half was brutal. From roughly 13 kilometers onward, I felt each checkpoint was getting longer and longer.
13, almost there. 15, 6 more.
The heat started to peek through and I sweat a lot naturally and I tend to overheat. So having the sun directly on my body definitely made this run more challenging than it should have been. Because of my training period, I never really ran in hot weather. Most of the time when I run, it's at night, it's in cold weather, or even the rain. Compared to the first half, this section of the run was all uphill. Going into the run, I only told myself that I would walk if I needed to and to try and keep the walks to a minimum. At the 14 kilometer mark, each kilometer I had to take a short walking break just so that I didn't burn out and so that I could actually finish the run. If I did have to walk, I tried to tell myself to only walk at the top or more flatter land because if I stopped on the hill would just feel even longer. At around 16 kilometers, this is when I started to notice more people getting help from medical individuals or even people who ran beside me or past me be sitting on the ground unable to continue. Seeing all that made me really think that this last bit is going to definitely be a push. In my training, my longest run was only 15 kilometers, so I'm already doing more than I've ever done before, and it's just gonna get more and more challenging from here. I definitely felt myself slowing down, and at that point, I was starting to look at my watch a little bit more excessively because I could feel myself losing my pace, and I honestly gave up on the whole goal of finishing sub 2:30 and shifted to just trying to finish the run altogether. To make matters worse, my headphones died or disconnected from my phone towards the end. I wasn't really familiar with these headphones, so I didn't want to tinker with it to try and fix it. So from that point on, it was just me, my thoughts, and the sounds of the marathon.
17, 19, let's go, last one.
Okay, so at the 20 kilometer mark, I could see the finish line in sight, and it was just one final stretch to make it there. My girlfriend texted me exactly where she would be, and she was really close to the finish line. Knowing that, I was so excited to just see her and get this race over with that I just pushed through all the way to the end.
Go, baby!
I am so proud that I finished this half marathon. To my surprise, I still managed to reach my goal of finishing under sub 2:30, and I finished with a time of 2:27. Do I wish I did better? Yes, but at the same time, I did the best that I could. I grew up always afraid of running in a way. In elementary school, anytime there was a run or track and field event, I would always be one of the last ones to finish. And having that type of experience with running never made me feel good anytime I had to run. I always had a thought in the back of my head that I could never do running or I shouldn't even try to do running, given that I'm always last place. And then fast forward to now, a lot of my friends were getting into running and they were getting pretty fast. Obviously, they were putting in the work, but seeing that they were doing well in running kind of brought back some of the same feelings where if I did start, I would again be the slowest or I wouldn't be good at running. As I started training, I kept reminding myself that I'm doing as best as I can and I'm trying to beat how I was before, not beat anybody else. Like looking back at one of my earlier runs, I could barely do a kilometer without stopping. And even that kilometer took me over 8 minutes to finish. And now I'm able to do a whole 21.1 kilometer run. That is insane to me. One of the biggest mind shifts that I can remember happening during this training period is thinking that 10 kilometers was an egregiously long distance for a run to now thinking that 10 kilometers is a nice, easy, quick run. Like I never thought I would have thought that way. I'm super thankful for all the friends and family who supported me along this way and believed in me. As I recover from this half marathon, I've had some time to think about my next goals, and I do see myself doing another half marathon. Now that I have a benchmark on what I can do, I want to see if I can improve. Whether that be in the next couple months or next year, I do see myself doing at least one more half marathon. But as of right now, I will give myself a break. I don't think I'll quit running altogether because I'm happy that I've gotten to a healthier relationship with it and have incorporated it into my life. And I don't feel as afraid of running like I used to. Like I'm so happy that I've been able to change my perspective on this sport. Would I do a full marathon? I won't say never, but I don't know if I would do it in the near future. But that's just me saying it right now. Last year I did my first 10K, this year I did my first marathon, so who knows, maybe I should just keep the trend up. Closing off this video, I do hope if you guys are on the fence on getting into running or just trying something new that you take the leap and just go for it. If you are thinking about running, what really helped me was to just sign up for something, whether it be a 5K or a 10K, just to get started. Having an end goal or something to work towards definitely helped me stay consistent and keep at it. I promise you it's worth it, and if you've been thinking about it, this is your sign to do it. If I can do it as someone for years would push away the thought of running, then you can too. Peace.